You gotta go off. Oh, 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 oh. Arr. Arr. Welcome back. Welcome back. Whoa, where are we? Hi, folks. I'm Darian Terry, and welcome back to this show. You are watching. Oh my God, is it FightCast? It sure is. And we're coming at you right before a huge battle goes underway. And we also have a review of what happened on Fight Night. Oh God. Oh goodness. All right, so as you guys know in the news, Derek Lewis is about to go ahead and be fighting against Daniel Cormier. This seems like a debacle, does it not? Okay, man, I look at that kind of stuff. It's like, the thing is about it though, what's weird is that Derek Lewis is like 9 or 10, and he's won 9 of his last 10 fights. So that's pretty freaking amazing. And they've all been by like knockout. You know, so that, I mean, obviously he's inside of a position where he could be able to fight for a title. All right. And so all due respect, go ahead and give it to him. The thing is about it is the style in which he's won these fights in the last 10 seconds after getting demolished for rounds and rounds on end. That last one, like I talked about it in the last video, when I looked at the fight metrics and actually went ahead and saw the amount of strikes, significant strikes landed by the Russian dude compared to Derek Lewis, it was redonkulous. It was like in the hundreds compared to like 30. It was terrifying. Man, you know what? What's so weird? That's just the weird part about that for me. It's just a weird part about that is that but he's so promoted now, you know. So it's so promoted. He's got a funny ass Instagram too. Derek Lewis has a hilarious Instagram, but you know, like I said, you know, no disrespect to him, but in reality, when you go and start to go ahead and break down this fight, you see a person that will, if pushed, break. Literally. All right. I saw him turning around in his last fight, and when I say like turning around, he was literally turning around, and when he was getting punched, like from the strikes and also from his conditioning and lack of it. And we're talking about 28 days, he comes back again. He's just not there. And then like literally, and it's not going to go ahead and be there yet. And even if he did have conditioning, he doesn't have combinations to strike. He has one hit punching power. With one hit punching power that needs urgency to do so. All the people that he'll sleep late after he gets beaten for rounds and rounds upon end. And so it's like one of those ordeals where he doesn't show dominance whatsoever in any of his fights. It's literally like, I'm getting my ass beat. I'm going to panic now and try to knock you out as quick as possible in the last 10 seconds. This is going to be a 5-round fight. He's going to get gassed in the first 3 rounds because literally Daniel Cormier fights the same way every single fight. He goes forward and keeps the pressure on you. He did it against Stipe. He did this against everyone. Goes forward and keeps the pressure on you. If Daniel Cormier can't get knocked out by Anthony Rumble Johnson, who hits hard as a fucking truck, then he's not going to get knocked out by Derek Lewis. All right, literally. I mean, we saw Anthony Rumble Johnson hit Daniel Cormier and flattened him. It flattened him. Okay, totally flattened. That's not going to happen. First of all, Daniel Cormier has fought at heavyweight. He's undefeated at heavyweight. He knocked out the reigning world champion Stipe Miocic at heavyweight. The reigning world champion, man, he's beaten everyone, and every fight at heavyweight he's undefeated at. The only person he's ever lost to is John Jones because he's so crafty. And so with Derek Lewis showing absolutely no stamina, no endurance, ability to not be able to put combinations together, no kicks, no wrestling whatsoever, no jiu-jitsu, against Marcin Tybura. If you watch Derek Lewis versus Marcin Tybura, it was an annihilation by Marcin Tybura again until the last 10 seconds. And Marcin Tybura was just taking him down. And you could see like the lack of jiu-jitsu with Derek Lewis once he got taken down. He would give up his back to get up. He was giving up his back to get up. If he does that against Daniel Cormier, it's going to be over. Bench pressing Marcin Tybura off of him. Just silly things that shouldn't work on the professional level. But I go on and on about this. But it's just third round, massive ass beating. It might happen in the first or the second, but it's going to be a massive ass beating with Daniel Cormier once he gets on top of him. Massive. I love to see it though. I love to watch stuff just to see exactly what happens because it's always funny. You just never know. Okay, but yeah, I give Derek Lewis 1%. He gets 1% chance. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, we're talking about the fight that went ahead and went down last weekend too. UFC Mung Talk. Yeah, Mung Talk's weird name, weird name and city. But Anthony Smith ended up winning that fight and against Volkan Ozdemir. That was a cray one, man. Vulcan was bringing the heat. He was bringing the fire. And so, like, it was just like one of those sort of deals where you didn't know exactly what's going to happen inside of that. I want to look at the resilience when it comes to Anthony Smith. I mean, this guy, he's a battler, man. He's a battler. And I think he's got an extremely tough chin. Vulcan was just beating the shit out of him for 2 rounds before that. He took some heavy leather, heavy kicks, heavy punches, and he was going, that guy, oh man, Vulcan put on a crazy pace on him. Okay, he even said so. His pace was just is ridiculous. And so, but Vulcan started to slow down. Of course, inside the third round, he started getting hit, obviously, with different shots, and then boom, came in with that nice little double knee tap. Looked like a double to a knee tap, and end up finishing him in the rear naked choke. I mean, hell of a performance against the number 2 guy in the world. And so, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're talking about Anthony Smith, number 9, beat the number 2 dude. So, obviously, that puts him in title contention. So, we're gonna see exactly like how that all goes. I don't know. Like, if it's gonna be, I don't know. You would think it's gonna be, obviously the winner of John Jones, and what's his name? But I don't know. I look at it, and you don't know what's gonna happen because I don't know if Anthony Smith is going to be able to go ahead and fight right away. I was talking about the striking with the Anthony Smith and the Volkan Ozdemir fight. The significant strikes, basically that were landed in round 1 for Volkan Ozdemir versus Anthony Smith. There's actually 27 significant strikes landed by Volkan Ozdemir and 26 landed by Anthony Smith. Now, the total strikes landed in round 1 were 45 total strikes and 28 total strikes. 45 for Volkan, 28 for Anthony. And so you would give the slight advantage to Volkan on that one inside of round 1. So round 2, 37 total strikes landed by Volkan Ozdemir versus only 11 significant strikes, 30 significant strikes by Volkan, and only 9 significant strikes by Anthony Smith. 1 takedown also by Volkan Ozdemir in the second. So he was literally winning that fight up until the third round, Volkan was. And then, basically got taken down and ran into that submission. So that's the thing. It's like Anthony Smith definitely persevered inside that fight to be able to go ahead and come out victorious. Now, I look at this stuff because you always want to look at the strikes and see how the fights were going. Johnson versus Lobov, okay, which is silly, right? That Artem Lobov, he's like 14-13, and he's like co-maining a card, but at the same time though, he has a big name because he trains with Conor, and so people like him. So we got in the first round, it was total strikes. Michael Johnson 26 total Total strikes. Artem Lobov 22. So it's literally 26 to 22. And then here's my cat Cub. Significant strikes 26 to 22. So the first round was pretty damn even, really. Then we got total strikes. What are you doing? Michael Johnson total strikes was 42 inside the second round. So he started to develop significant strikes of 42 versus total strikes 31 and 31 for Artem Lobov. And then round 3 was all Michael Johnson, 33 total strikes and 31 significant strikes versus 14 total strikes and 14 significant strikes from Artem Lobov, the GOAT. Is Artem the GOAT? Where are you trying to run to, bro? Where are you trying to run to? Trying to go somewhere? Trying to go somewhere? You go nowhere. You go nowhere. My cat's name is Cub. Cub the cat. All right. Anyways, enough with Cub. So, wait, hold on a second. I'm looking at. Okay, so we're talking about that crazy. We were talking about the Derek Lewis and Daniel Cormier fight. Also, what's on that card is going to be the Chris Weidman versus Souza Jacare. What are you doing back there? Versus Jacare Souza. So this fight ended up happening because of the dropout on the card with Luke Rocco, and so Ronaldo ended up getting there. So you got the number 3 guy, Chris Weidman, against the number 5 guy, Ronaldo Souza, which isn't bad. Obviously, you know, this is like, you know, like it's not really like a horrifying matchup by any means. Number 3 guy versus number 5 guy. I would look at that one and I would say, damn, you know, like this could go pretty much either way. If Jacare likes the ground, right? All right, Chris Weidman likes to take people down. All right, so if they go to the ground, it could get ugly. Basically for Chris Weidman, or it could get ugly for Jacare. I mean, Chris Weidman's a monster. Chris Weidman's a monster on the ground, and that's the thing too. Chris Weidman's an All-American from Holstra in wrestling, and he takes down everyone he fights, everyone. And you know, we'll just see exactly what happens from there. You know where this goes, but if it stands up, Chris Weidman obviously has the advantage. You know, unless you get a blitzing Jacare Souza. If you get like a blitzing Jacare Souza, like how he blitz he's the current Bellator world champion, just be Roy McDonald. If you get a blitzing Jacare Souza that blitzes you on your feet with huge haymakers, I'm talking about huge hooks, huge overhands, then you're going to run. You know, Chris Weidman could run into some dangerous shit, some dangerous waters. So we're going to see exactly how that transpires, what unfolds with that. I don't know if it's going to go Jacare's way because he took this fight on short notice. I don't know. He had problems cutting weight in his last fight. I don't know how this is gonna go for him, but at the same time though, he could definitely end up submitting Chris Weidman because he's Jacare Souza. He's a legend in jiu-jitsu, an effing legend. So we'll see exactly what goes down with that. So also on this card coming up, UFC 230 is going to be David Brandt versus Mr. Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier is called the Killer Gorilla. David Brandt is 21-4 and Jared Cannonier is 10-4. David Brandt is number 7 in the world. He was about to fight Jacare Souza, but basically Luke Rocco dropped out and they replaced Souza to go ahead and go against Weidman. So I would like to have seen David Brandt versus Chris Weidman. Oh no, yeah, that seems just like an awesome fight. Yeah, I mean David Brandt was no slouch either, man. David Brandt was I think he was a 2-time either Strikeforce or Bellator world champion. Yeah, 2-time I think Bellator world champion. So yeah, dude's a monster. So then, lined up on this same card, we're gonna have Carl Roberson, Baby K, he's 6-1 versus Jack Marshman. So Jack Marshman is 22-7. Carl Roberson 6-1. I really haven't heard too much about these guys. I know that. Uh, yeah, I haven't heard I heard way too much craziness about these guys at the Carl Robinson and Jack Marshman. Let's come back to that one because there's a better fight on the card, which is Derek Brunson versus Israel Adesanya. Wow. Now this is going to be a barn burner right here, folks. So we don't know exactly what's going to go down with this one. And what I mean is, this could get really ugly really fast. All right, like Derek Brunson could hit Israel with something crazy. Israel's very slick, but at the same time, Derek Brunson does have extremely heavy hands and can land punches. The thing is about it is, will he land punches? That's gonna be the main factor in the whole thing. Like, will he actually land credible shots against Israel Adesanya? Israel is so slick. He is slick like water, and his creative striking ability is amazing. And able to go ahead and put him in so many different places. Derek's probably going to get in trouble. He's probably going to go for takedowns against Israel. Israel does have good takedown defense now. He showed that inside of his last fight. His takedown defense is there, is come around, and man, his striking is so legit. It's so 2029. The elbows, the knees. He puts together a full list of actual Muay Thai striking. It's the best Muay Thai striking right now at 185 pounds. And man, you know, so when you get a guy that puts stuff together like that, you get a dangerous person. You get a very dangerous human being. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen in that fight. I love Israel Adesanya. I like his fighting style. He's extremely exciting, and I literally I could take from him. I could see the stuff that he does and use it in every day and like in striking. And so like there's no reason why not to like choose Israel on this one for me. I got Israel Adesanya, and so we'll see exactly what goes down. You know, obviously that fight could go either way. So other good fights on this card. Obviously, we just talked about the FS1 prelims. We got Jason Knight, the kid. Jason Knight's 20-5. He's going to be going against Jordan Ronaldo, which is 13-6. This fight is going to be showcased at 145 pounds. As you know, Jordan Knight's always a threat, and so we'll see exactly what happens with that one. I'm definitely going to be pulling for Jordan Knight on that one. We got Sahara Eubanks, number 4 right now at 125 pounds, versus Roxanne Modafferi. Definitely going with Sahara Eubanks on this one. I don't think that Roxanne Modafferi has what it takes whatsoever to beat Sahara Eubanks. But, you know, obviously, this fight was supposed to take place on the UFC, on the actual, on the show, but never did. So, weird stuff. Otherwise, but we all know what would happen. So Julio Arce is going to be going against Shayman Moraes. Shayman Moraes is 10-1 from Brazil, and Julio Arce is 15-2. So this is going to be a real good one right here. We don't know what's going to go down. All right, and then last on the card for the FS1 prelims is Lyman Cyborg Good, which is 19-4, and he's going to go against Killer Ben Saunders, who's 22-10. And so, yeah, I like watching Ben Saunders fight, man. He's tall, long, lanky, and you never know what he's going to do. And so we're going to see exactly what's happened. 22-10-2. All right, so the guy's had a lot of fights. All right, yeah, that's like 34 fights. So versus 19-4, 23, 24 fights, 23 fights. So it's 34, 22, 10-2 is a crazy record right there. But great fights. I actually go ahead and line up on this card. You don't know what's going to happen with this one, but at the same time, my picks going down the line, I got Cormier, of course. I'm going to go ahead and go second round KO or TKO or submission over Derek Lewis. Then you got Jacare Souza versus Chris Weidman. I'm going to go with good old Chris Weidman on this one because he's a for sure bet. Very consistent. Very consistent. Great striker. Has the ability to... he probably won't knock Jacare out, but if he doesn't knock Jacare out, then he's going to end up hurting him. Definitely going with that one inside that fight. Let's see here. Third one down, David Branch versus Jared Cannonier. David Branch gets it done just with pressure, just with a major pressure and striking and boxing. Jared Cannonier, he does have the power to knock your ass out though. I would see him as the dark horse, basically to win, even though he's not favored. I would see him as the dark horse that would come out of this, but we'll see exactly what happens. Then the other exciting fight on that card, Derek Brunson versus Israel Adesanya. I'm going with Israel Adesanya. Just the versatility of his striking makes him futuristic. It makes him Matrix mode. So got to go with that one. So, oh my God, guys, it's UFC 230. That's coming from New York, New York. That's going to be Saturday, November 3rd of 2018. It's going to be a barn burner. If Derek Lewis wins, there is going to be free Popeye's chicken from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in his hometown, which is goofy to me. Getting deals with Popeye's chicken, so silly, so silly. But either way around it, great times, guys. We're gonna be back with you on another episode of FightCast after these fights to talk more about the results. And please remember to like and subscribe. This is Darren Terry joining you live, signing out. We'll see you.